Hi, my name's Eliza and welcome to this video on how to do the long tail cast on. Now for this particular casting on method, we're only going to use one needle and we're going to use the tail of the yarn, the very end of the yarn, as well as the working yarn that's attached to the ball itself. Now for this tail, the length you need is totally dependent on how many stitches you need for the project. So I'm going to start with not a super long tail, but enough for what I need. So I'm going to hold that across the palm of my left hand, and I'm going to wrap it around my thumb so that the working yarn attached to the ball is coming across the heel of my hand. So it's going around my thumb so that the tail is coming across the palm, and then I'm going to take that needle. Now when I do this, I like to kind of control the tail with my pinky and with my left hand, and I like to control the working yarn with my right hand. I tend to kind of hold on both, that way they're not getting too loose, too floppy, and all tangled up. So I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to go up over the working yarn and under the tail, and I'm going to take that working yarn and I'm going to wrap it up around the tip of the needle. We're going to go up around the back and down. Then I'm going to take that needle and I'm going to dive it down over that working yarn and under behind the loop of the thumb. Catch that working yarn with that needle. I'm going to slide the loop off my thumb and snug it tight with the left hand. Pull that tail. I'm going to pull that working yarn. Now you don't want it to be too tight, you just want it to be snug. You want it to be able to slide pretty easily on the needle. If it's too tight, it's going to be really difficult to work with. So we're going to put that tail back into the position. So the tail is coming across the palm of your hand, it's coming around the thumb, and you're going to hold your working yarn in your right hand. You're going to take that needle again and go up under the tail, wrap the working yarn around the tip of the needle, and dive it down through that loop. Slide the loop off the thumb, snug it tight with the tail, snug it tight with the working yarn. Keep snugging until it's nice and snug against the needle. You're going to get back in position, up underneath the tail, wrap around, dive it down through, slide the loop off the thumb, and snug it tight. So we're going to keep going until we have the right number of stitches for whatever project we're working on. Again, get the tail back into position across the palm of the hand, go up underneath, wrap the working yarn around the tip of that needle, dive it down through the back. You want to catch that working yarn, slide the loop off the thumb, and snug tight. Just keep going. Snugging it tight as you go. Go up underneath the tail, wrap the working yarn around the tip of the needle, dive it down behind the loop, and slide the loop off. Now again, the length of your tail that you're going to need is totally dependent on how many stitches you're going to need for the final project. It may take a little trial and error to get the right length sometimes, and you want to leave at least 6 inches of tail at the end of your project after you've had all of your stitches cast on, so that you can sew it in at the end. Otherwise you're left with a tail hanging off of your sweater or your hat or whatever you're making. This has been my tutorial on a long tail cast on. I hope this helps to spur your knitting, and I hope you'll join me for future videos. Have a great day.